Hello, hello. This is Irina Baker, and I am here today celebrating a grand opening of my new podcast. It's actually second season because I've done few episodes before several years ago, but I was not supposed to continue at that time because I was really busy on my inner spiritual journey. So here I am after having created a mega summit that we just finished. And now my next project is to start really putting attention and creation into the weekly podcasts. So here we are celebrating. A long time ago, many years ago, I've read an article in an entrepreneur magazine. And this article still stays with me all these years later. And I will give you some details about it because it's very interesting. And I don't remember every single thing, but I will tell you the story right now. So it was the article featured several teenagers who became millionaires by the teen years. Some did at 16, some did at 17. So pretty young age, while they were still at school, they became millionaires in their own businesses. And that's what caught my attention. So, one particular story really spoke to my heart. There was a girl, and I'm sure she's an adult now because it's been several years ago. However, I do not remember her name. I apologize for that. I can't find, I saved it. I knew I would talk about it many times, but I cannot find it so far, the magazine. So, anyway, this girl was 7 years old, and her dad took her to the bank because they were doing errands, and they together went to the bank. And the cash register, or I mean, the teller at the bank, gave her a lollipop. As you know, in America, usually we go to the bank, there is a bunch of lollipops sitting around. And her father, so the child is so excited, she got the candy, right? And her father is saying to her, well, if you eat this lollipop, your teeth will rot. Well, I don't know what to say about that because on one side, the father was right, but on the other side, oh, to say that to the child. So it's like a little bit or a lot controversial here information. So, anyway, or action. Anyway, that was actually a good idea in this case because the child, 7-year-old child, got the idea. And I'm pointing out here that it was divinely guided idea. You know my favorite subject by now. And divine guidance, divinely inspired idea that came from divine guidance. I can vouch for this 100%. Gave the child the idea that she wanted to discover or invent candy that would not rot on somebody's teeth or anybody's teeth. So she got on a mission, and that mission was to create that candy that was good for your teeth. And uh, the she spent a lot of time in the kitchen apparently creating it and doing trial errors and searching. And imagine again, I want to pinpoint here that she was still 7 years old. And so she came up with candy, she supposedly healthy candy, and she started selling it. And eventually, by I believe the age of 16, she had her own facilities. Her candy were in many major stores in America. She became a millionaire. The plant was producing more than $1 million um, gross gross income and profits, and her parents were her employees. And so that's how the story went. Why am I telling you all this? Because first of all, how many 7-year-old children that get this idea, business idea, and start implementing it immediately, spend all their time creating the product or whatever it is that they want to create, and then implementing it and creating a business and becoming a millionaire at a young age. So, not many, a lot of kids, just normal kids. And this one was quote unquote not normal. What was the difference? The difference was she was able to receive divinely inspired idea, and she was driven from internally to actually work that idea out in a physical reality. And why am I telling all this? Because I bet she did not approach business in a normal, traditional, male dominated way. And I say male dominated without any disrespect whatsoever, but I truly believe the traditional business is the traditional male dominated field and male dominated model of business. Maybe I'm not using the right words, but basically it's a traditional male business versus there is a female business, as I believe, and that's very, very different. And I will be giving, I'm sure, many lives talking about this subject. So, anyway, she was not pushing, forcing, and doing it for survival. She's 7 years old. Parents are providing for her. She doesn't need to worry about it. So I am sure, and actually, she's on my bucket list. I would like to interview her one day for that particular reason, to ask all these details. And she just had fun. I'm sure I'm assuming, but 7-year-old kid, come on, she should have fun. She had fun. She was creating it. She was guided, I'm sure, because she was able to create a product that was actually accepted by the adult world. And everything was in a flow. Yes, she had to do the work. She had to spend time in the kitchen creating that candy, doing research, whatever she was doing, getting help from maybe her parents, maybe her friends, maybe whoever she was working with. But it had to be in a flow. So first of all, because she got the idea, we already know it was divinely guided. And when something is divinely guided, especially your business venture or adventure or business project, usually you're being guided in the right direction, and you are provided the flow where you can go in that flow and create. And so I believe that's what happened. And that's why she was able to receive the reward for that as her wealth at 16 or whatever that age was. She became a millionaire. So that's quite an interesting story, at least I hope for you, because it is very interesting to me, because it clearly demonstrates what I've been learning and practicing and teaching for many, many years by now. And so uh, that's why I have created this podcast. This topic is very dear and near and dear to me, right? Close up and personal. So, the title of my new podcast is Radiant. Your business is your spiritual journey. And why am I saying spiritual? I was talking about the flow, right? So, well, divine guidance is the spiritual realm, it belongs to the spiritual realm. When you take divinely inspired ideas and implement them by taking divinely inspired actions, it's also the realm of the spiritual. It's not even the mindset. I very clearly distinguish between the mindset and the spiritual work, which is entirely different subject for my future life. And so in this case, I've learned long time ago, and I've really, really practiced it, and I still practicing it up to this day, and will continue practicing it. That everything I do, and I also teach that everything I do every day of my life, and my business absolutely included, is my spiritual journey. So I'm learning from it, I'm healing from it, I'm releasing stuff from it, and so forth. So I don't take business for granted, and I don't take business, and I've been in business full time since, well, many, many years by now. And I never take a just business, just the outside world. It always comes from the inside and inside. And that's why I advocate the new energy, we could call it new energy business model, which is based on female energy business model. And like I said, I will give more talks about that, go deeper into the subject. But right now, time is running away with us. So I want to announce my podcast. So it's grand opening. And it's again radiant because it's full of light. Everything I do, everything I live for is light. So, radiant, your business is your spiritual journey. It's time to bring spirituality into our business, into our lives, into our career, into our work. Even if you are having a job, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter. I call it business because I like talking about business, but it doesn't matter. The same thing. Divine guidance does not distinguish you in business, you in work. It's you can use it the same exactly way. Business is your spiritual journey, and the results are incredible because it just gives me ability to navigate it easier, have amazing. It just everything. I can't say enough about that. So it's a lot of benefits, and I would not change it for anything, knowing from my experiences. Okay. So, like I said, I will talk more about it in future lives. But right now, I would like to tell you who is the first speaker on my summit. I mean, summit. Sorry, I've been so long saying of summit. So it's a podcast, and the podcast, I already established I've done million interviews by now, all over the years, and I've established my style of interviewing, and it's always conversation style. So I ask questions, I interrupt respectfully because I want to go deeper and I want to dig and I want to help speakers to think and maybe get their own insights and help the audience to get the same, not just listen to the story passively, but actually apply it to your life and think about it and learn something new in how to. And so this time, the very first podcast interview, it's already there. It's on major, I think it's on every major platform. And also I created a special website, a page on my website. So it's on here, radiantmastery.com/podcast. Very simple. Radiantmastery.com/podcast. You can go there. No registration is needed. I'm not collecting anything here. Just click the button, scroll down the page, click the button of the player, and it will take you to YouTube. And because on YouTube, there is my podcast as well. So it's Sarah Williams, Business and Learning Strategies. She comes from us. She lives in New Zealand. She is a very powerful business entrepreneur, generating millions in profits for her clients, and I'm sure for herself as well. So she has been in business a long time, and she's learned something new recently. So I'm going to read to you what the title and the interview is about, so you know. The title of our interview is Divine Inspiration at 3 a.m. Sarah's Business Miracle. Sarah Williams spent years coaching high-powered corporate executives in a demanding, masculine-driven environment where she often had to suppress her feminine side. Remember, I told you the story how the girl of 7 years old, she actually didn't suppress her feminine side, and what results she got. And so that's why I was telling you the story, to bring you to this point. But deep inside, Sarah longed for something different. Then one night at 3 a.m., sounds familiar maybe to some, because 3 a.m. is a special time usually. Everything changed in a flash. So tune in to hear Sarah Williams' interview with me on my new podcast. And so, Radiant, your business is your spiritual journey. Every week the new podcast will be available on Wednesday. So today's Wednesday, and everything is ready. So you can go there and listen and watch, and hopefully, you will come to my private Facebook group and comment and talk about it, ask questions. And I do want people's questions because I am planning to do more lives, and I could answer your questions on live here. So hopefully, you will check it out. You will like. People loved Summit interviews, so nothing different here. Of course, there will be different subjects. Summit was about divine guidance only, and podcast is about your business is your spiritual journey. And I have already very powerful lineup. I've already pre-recorded many podcast interviews, so they're all coming every Wednesday, and I hope you will enjoy them. So thank you helping me celebrate my grand opening of my Radiant Your Business is Your Spiritual Journey. I'm Irina Baker, and I'm signing off now. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.